Hello and welcome to the Wetaskiwin Mystery Disc Round, Front 9, brought to you by Sometimes Disc Golf. My name is Matt, and in the booth with me today is David Hohalter.
Hi Matt, pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, great to have you, David. Thanks for coming. What we got going on today is we got 4 professionals. Each one, instead of using their own bags, will be using a handcrafted, themed 6-disc pack. And you have to use each of those discs at least once. So not playing with your usual tools out there, and people are going to be learning on the fly. Other than that, it's just regular old stroke play, and the winner is going to get $50 from Ace Runners. Second place will get $25 from Ace Runners.
Yeah, and so we've got me on the card, listed last there, with my 2 brothers, Tyler and Eric, and Jeremy the Professor Goche.
Nice.
We'll see if he likes that. We'll try the Duke at some point later as well.
I like that. Honorary Hohalter on the line, maybe?
Maybe. We'll see how he does today. Something to watch out for. Eric is a primarily forehand player, but we're going to get right in to look at my discs now. So maybe I'll let you introduce these here, Matt.
All right. So you unfortunately drew the short straw here a little bit. You've got a pack of discs with unconventional rims. So the first one is the Castaplast Rask, which is ludicrously overstable and has a weird thing on the bottom. The Inn of a Groove, a little more understable.
But also with a weird thing on the bottom?
Much maligned disc. The Prodigy A4, which has a smaller weird thing on the bottom.
Yes,
a smaller groove.
Very normal looking disc that we'll see what happens with that later.
Yeah, we had to give you something to throw. The Alpha Discs Apollo. So this is a brand new disc out of Norway. Nothing too weird about it, except it's, I think, as wide as you are legally allowed to make a disc. The Aerobie Arrow.
Thing of nightmares. The Aerobie Arrow.
I think you're not your new favorite putter.
No, I think those numbers are wrong too.
I think those numbers are wrong. And the Quest AT Turbo Putt. Not legal for sanctioned PDGA events, but it's the weirdest disc that I have. So.
Heavy sigh with that.
Yeah. All right, so hole 1 out here. We're playing from the whites at Wetaskiwin, Peace Hills disc golf course. 379 from the whites. It's going to be a big flex forehand right up the middle for Eric, probably. The rest of you, I'm guessing, are probably going to go backhands on this one. Try and have a slow panning anhyzer up the middle. Gets you to 30 feet. Got a good shot on this one. If you really finesse it in there, you can get into the green.
Yeah, anywhere around those 3 trees right in front of us is going to be fine here, but it's a pretty tough shot to get past those with that fading anhyzer, and so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, especially with this is the kind of hole where you want to know what your disc is doing.
Definitely. Familiarity with your disc on a touchy edge control shot like this is really important. So not ever throwing these discs. I don't believe any of us except Eric had warm-up center please. These were all backhands and terrible. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. The Bryce. All right, so Jeremy's gonna go with a understable fairway driver here, or Bryce. So the challenge is, does he know how flippy it is? Doesn't look like it.
Some risk of OB over there, but he sneaks through and gets a nice little look at the basket.
That's a fantastic shot from there. All right, Tyler, older brother?
Oldest brother.
Oldest brother. So he's the one that got you all into every sport there is, right?
I actually got Tyler and Eric kind of into Ultimate Frisbee, but then Tyler kind of led the way with disc golf.
Oh, interesting. Tyler's throwing only rubber, so he didn't get any plastic to throw. We'll go through his bag a little bit later. We got Eric here throwing a Yikun overmold, the Twin Swords.
Eric sporting the Alberta Flatball Club jersey. That's our Ultimate Frisbee team name here in Alberta.
Nice. What is that? A men's team, a mixed team?
That is a
team?
men's team. Technically, it's an open team, so similar to disc golf. Open kind of refers to anyone can be a member.
Nice.
Typically, you see primarily male-identifying people playing on open teams.
Nice. And here you are.
First throw with the groove. I was told by a certain someone that it is very understable, and so I did this.
Well, it's pretty understable compared to a destroyer, let's say.
Yeah, I've never thrown a destroyer. So I crossed the next fairway there, and I'm in the woods. But advanced far enough down the fairway that hopefully it won't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, I think you got some sort of look. All right, so Eric is forehanding an EMAC Truth. Not something you see every day. But the guy makes it work.
He does. He somehow makes a lot of things work. It's
Really
my first feel of an arrow here that you're seeing.
What's it gonna do?
Look at confusion.
It's gonna go ultra straight.
Just take it out of the bag and chuck it.
Ultra straight through these trees.
And it went ultra straight.
That was pretty good.
It's the best throw of the day, maybe. I blacked out. I forget a lot of this round.
Spoilers. Oh, that was on line for Tyler. That was a nice bid. That's why you want to be on the right side of these guardian trees, though. Jeremy with the birdie putt. You know, having the right putter that you're used to makes a big difference.
This is where I thought I had advantage with the turbo putt. If I could get close enough, those grooves on the edge are going to catch a chain. I think the reason it's illegal, I was hoping to use my advantage.
Well, I guess we'll find out how that works for you. I like the
will.
theory. The math checks out. The physics checks out. Looks like a lot of pars here on the first hole. Not bad. 379. It's not a short one, but I think you guys will get more comfortable with the disc here. So what do we got for hole 2?
Hole 2 is just under 300 feet. You're going to go out straight through this tunnel and then try and fade out up the hill to the right. It's a pretty hard shot for most players unless you got a big bomb forehand. I've seen some guys players do a big Anheuser backhand here. But generally speaking, if you can get through this gap clean, you're in a pretty good spot for an easy par. If you can push up the hill, you'll have a putt for birdie.
And jail. Total jail.
Total jail on the right.
So it sort of baits you into forehanding it tight to the hole, and then if you mess it up, you're finding garter snakes and mosquitoes.
If these baskets look a little interesting to you, they're throwback to one of the OGs here in Alberta, the CBJs. You can look that up on the interwebs if you'd like to know more.
Heck yeah. All right, so Jeremy's showing you the forehand line. Unfortunately, that disc has Firebird flight numbers on it, but it does not fly like a Firebird. We got forehand number 2. I think we're probably going to see 4 forehands here. It just sort of makes sense for the shape of the hole.
Going.
So Tyler, as you can see, does a great job getting around the corner, tries to push up the hill a little bit.
That's a pretty good shot. That's a good tee shot.
I think it is. I think Eric's feeling pretty confident walking up to the tee here. As, like we said earlier, he's a primarily forehand player. His big concern was that none of these discs would be able to handle him. It's his power.
Yeah.
He was worried about their stability, and so let's see what he does here.
Spoiler alert. I'm not sure any disc can handle Eric's forehand power. I think he probably would have been happy to trade you for that Rask.
Yeah, I think so. On the flip side, every disc can handle his backhand power.
Sorry.
All right, so Eric with a casual 450-foot blast. Way past the hole.
I was like, no. He's like, I swear, look it up.
And here's me,
Wasted 2 hours.
overconfident. My confidence in the first 3 holes of a round is unlike any other.
That shorted.
My forehand is not unlike any other.
The angle looked okay out of your hand,
Oh boy.
but it was just a little bit too much hyzer.
I think it's not a -2.
And we're going to find out where you went. You got a tricky upshot by Jeremy with a nice understable mid, and it's not even close.
Shot it right over the hill there.
Yeah.
And speaking of jail,
Yeah.
but
So you take out a Rask.
Wow.
and
You
there's
flex
a
it
reason
over
they're
the
called the
forest.
get out of jail free card.
That
Yeah,
was
it's super overstable. So if you can punch it through and give it a little bit of air to flex out in, then you're in a good spot.
If that's not full power, I'm scared to see what
Oh,
full power
Jason, the camera woman.
On his drive.
Jill,
Yeah.
Big thanks to Jill for recording catch cam on these rounds.
superstar of sometimes disc golf. Also, Jeremy's fiance. All right. Pressure's on here. You don't want to lose a stroke early to 3-hole halters.
No, definitely not.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here.
So you can see a lot of these putts not even close. I think it has something to do with putting with unfamiliar plastic or rubber in Tyler's case. Eric makes a putt.
And makes a putt with a 10-speed driver.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I didn't mention that was a driver, not a putter. Maybe he was just feeling good about it.
Maybe.
It wasn't even the driver that he threw on that
Turbo
hole.
putt, 2 for 2. Par save, stroke on Jeremy.
You know, there might be something to the turbo putt.
No. Maybe someday. I think if I knew how to turbo putt, there'd be something to it.
Yeah. Or if it was legal to use in competition. So we got Jeremy taking the lone bogey. Everyone else's par is there. Hole 3, the tunnel. 341 feet of just a straight downhill, tight, wooded tunnel. Slopes up on your right side, so a little bit safer to bail out there. Slopes down to hole 4's fairway on the left side. Ideally, you want to just blast a putter or a mid and keep it on the fairway the whole way, but that is easier said than done.
It sure is, and this is the kind of hole where you really want to know how to control your discs in a bit of a flip-up shape, either forehand or backhand. It's a pretty tight tunnel. The white distance makes it a pretty good shot, but definitely tricky.
All right, so more first throws with new discs that they've never thrown. Tyler at least picked the right disc. A very neutral mid from Vibram.
Got lucky.
Yeah, and safe in the fairway. That's not that bad.
So soft.
I've seen that play in tournaments. Just put it down just past the red tees and try again from there.
It's awful. It's awful from the woods on this hole for sure. You're going to see the flip up forehand here.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Skip in. Oh, nice shot.
Pretty good shape there from Eric. It's definitely hard. Not a lot of room to maneuver the disc in that corridor, but he does a good job.
Guy can throw, and you're taking out the Apollo. You didn't know how stable it was.
I learned.
Now
It's
you know how
pretty
stable it
Second
is.
fairway.
I got really fortunate there. There's another fairway down there that I was able to punch through to, so I was pretty happy about that.
Nice. Jeremy's got a nice understable mid, although it doesn't flip over enough for him. And he kicks back down.
But again, not a bad miss there. He's sitting pretty in the fairway with a fairly easy approach shot from there.
Definitely these rubber ones.
Tyler's approach.
Oh, get up. Oh, boy.
Yeah, if you're not right in the middle of this thing,
In there as well.
it can those numbers can start adding up pretty quick. This looks like a nice shot. Just settling
shot
it
by
into the
Jeremy.
side hill on this hole.
Oh yeah.
Not a bad play.
Excellent. Guy's a professional.
He's literally a professional disc golfer.
Literally.
You're literally all professional disc golfers.
Well, Tyler's a professional tattoo artist.
Yeah.
At Mammoth Tattoo in Calgary. If you're ever in the need for some ink.
Please check it out, or please check him out on Facebook to see his art, because
Instagram Thoch, Thoch.
nice.
And here's me having fun with the arrow again.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Near the basket again. My favorite thing about tattoo artists is that, like, their number one, calling card, their business card should be their tattoos on their own body.
Should be.
But that's like the one person that you can't.
You can't.
Really?
Tyler's left leg was his practice leg.
No way.
So most of the tattoos on his left leg he did himself.
Okay.
I assumed just sitting cross-legged. But yeah, he went from tattooing banana peels to some close friends and me to tattooing his own leg for practice.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they're unbelievable. Yeah, well, we can move on.
Yeah.
You want to do this one?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'll do this one. Hole 4 is an even number, which is why I'm doing it. Short 200-foot par 3. A little more room to work with here down the tunnel. You're going to see a little flat with a little hyzer finish fade at the end. Most people are throwing backhands, unless you're Eric. And then he's going to be fighting against the natural shape of the hole. But yeah, similar to the last hole, you kind of got heavy trees to the left and the right, but a nice little landing area for just a little 200 approach shot.
Yeah, this should be, if you're throwing your regular bag with your regular discs, this is one of the gimmies out on the course.
Yeah, it's a must get when you know what disc you're throwing.
Yeah. But instead, we've got Eric forehanding an EMAC Truth again, which I guarantee you is only the second time he's done this in his life. And he hits it
And
early.
shanked it outright.
I like this play, busting out the overstable mid.
Yeah, some
For a
fortunate
second.
roll there
at
after
that
a
tree love
fortunate
again.
tree.
That's
I'd love to say I was trying to slam it in that tree, but I was not.
Looks like Jeremy's just going with the putter. A little bit too much hyzer, and there's a theme here. If
Yeah,
you're
I
not
thi-
in the fairway.
I think one of the things you see as well is a lack of trust in that the disc is going to come back, and so a lot of us we're throwing just a little extra hyzer because we know if there's too much hyzer, we know where it's going to go. If we throw a little too flat or too much anhyzer, then we're going to lose control of it completely. So at least losing it left, you know that that was the choice over totally losing it early right.
Oh, yeah.
And there's something like weirdly emotionally
Great
crushing
shot.
about having a disc flip over
Yeah.
more than you think it's going to.
Definitely.
It feels worse than it being more stable than you thought it was for some reason.
Yeah, it's like misspelling a really easy word
it's not hard
hurts
to
more
see
than
the
misspelling
market
a hard word.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jeremy's gonna go over, under. He's gonna go under.
And hits it.
That's a great birdie.
That's the first birdie of the round, I believe.
That's gonna get him back to even par. Eric's got a regular putter, which is I'm gonna say a big bonus.
Tyler also has a regular putter,
Yeah,
which is also a big bonus.
You
All
always-
these guys, I believe, have actual putters.
almost all.
Except one.
Yeah. But look at you,
Under
rolling
par.
with the turbo putt.
Feeling pretty good for now.
All right, hole 5 is the monster hole out here at Wetaskiwin. 813 feet from the white. So here's your whites, and you're going to be going to a Mando on the left side of this fairway out of this opening. So the first throw from the whites especially is a bit more of a placement shot. All of you guys can kind of outdrive the ideal landing spot for your second shot. So anywhere near that little post in the ground is position A. The pole on your left that you just saw is the Mando, so it's a Mando left of that.
Right of that.
Right of that, sorry, thank you. Boy, that's embarrassing. And then you're coming down a hill into a big open space here, and it's really up to you how much you want to challenge the green on this one. So most people are going to be laying up somewhere short of those bushes on the right there, but some people might even try and go a little bit backdoor and go all the way around. But let's have a look see what's Jeremy's throwing. Jeremy drew not a bad set of discs. He
Not a
drew
bad set of discs.
All the discontinued discs from Latitude 64. So he's got the 15 speed Missilin, which was discontinued because it just doesn't go as far as.
Did he throw it?
He threw it on the back nine for sure. He's got the Zion, which we saw previously. It looks like a Firebird according to the flight numbers. Is not a Firebird. The Bryce, which is definitely not a -1. It's flippier than that. The Fuji, really nice overstable mid, and the Gobi, which is a nice straight to understable mid, and then a pretty garden variety putter there called the Sarek. So
Yeah, needless to say, this is a pretty friendly pack of discs that he got.
yeah, and you were there, drawn randomly.
Yep.
Drawn
It was
randomly.
not on purpose to give some people worse discs.
So you're busting out the groove again. Oh man,
Which this is where I learned it turns out it is quite understable.
it is a little bit flippy. That was going places and doing things though. Jeremy's just relying on this flippy fairway.
Nice.
Not a bad choice to have a disc and then just throw it over and over and over again.
Not a bad choice.
You got 18 holes.
Get to know it.
Maybe by hole 9 you're going to have an idea what it's doing. Also not a bad choice is just smashing a forehand drive.
5% power?
Probably a little too far.
That's
A little
ridiculous.
bit too far.
Yeah.
But great rip. He can bomb forehands.
60.
He can put a move on those discs. And then Tyler's going to swing some rubber out there. I believe that's the lace.
If he can hold on, that's going to be
Outplay, nice
an
tie.
ideal landing spot.
Yeah, that's
Real
great.
power
I think
move
that's
is
about
for
where you
sure.
want to be
That
on
was
that
a
one.
smart play. So yeah, it's
This
gonna be
is
low. to
less
the right
ideal,
of it,
but
don't worry.
not too bad.
Calls his
And
shot.
try to do something a little maybe too fancy with a disc that I don't understand.
There you go. There's the Missilin.
Jeremy's going for big spike geyser over these trees. If you can get it far enough, there's a nice landing area down there, which I believe he
I
made
think
it.
he
to.
got there. Yeah, he's on the right side, so he's not going to have a straight line at the basket, but that's just being anywhere safe down there is pretty good.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Oh no. He had a clear look at the basket and a good line to it. Just let it go a touch early, didn't get the turn he wanted. Now he's in a little bit of trouble down at the bottom of the hill.
That is the one mistake you can't make, is leaving it low on that
There's
second
another
shot.
mistake that you can make. And here it is, I believe.
Yeah.
So he turned that disc over and landed way out in the middle of that field over there, which is kind of full of water and nastiness. And this is me from the drop zone. Just trying to attack right at it and put a good move on it.
You put a super move on this one.
Just ended up in those bushes on the right.
That was going all the way to the
Literally
basket.
in the bushes. Caught. Nice camera work by Jill. there.
Great job, Jill. Salvageable, though. Tyler's, however, he's got some work ahead of him here.
It is. Oh, yeah. Flat, flat. Nice job.
So he's going to flex, I think, that same driver into one of the Guardian trees.
Nice job.
Not a bad shot from there, but not a great shot from there.
And this is Jeremy at the bottom of the hill, other side of the path from where Eric ended up. Throwing a beauty.
Wow.
So he'll have a good look inside circle 1 there for his birdie.
That's a touchy shot to throw with the disc that you just met. Okay.
Yeah, not a bad shot there from Eric either. We're starting to get used to the angles on those discs.
Has he picked up an EMAC Truth since this round?
He has not. I've got several in my bag. This is a mistake. This arrow is not the disc for this throw. But gave it a shot.
Great out from there.
If I was a strong putter, that would have been a great throw.
I like the idea, though. The arrow is probably the best way I can describe it. It's like the Berg before the Berg existed, except it doesn't feel very good in your hand.
Yeah, like if you asked a child to design a frisbee and didn't let them use any rounded edges, they would probably come up with the arrow.
Yeah.
Jeremy, the big birdie.
Good bird.
Wow. That's a good 4.
That's a big swing.
The rare birdie.
This should be a tap in for Eric here. It doesn't look like he's... Well, you know what? That's tester range. I'm going to call that tester range for Eric.
For hoe halters, definitely.
Oh.
Ooh, and hits the branch.
All right. So we've still got David the Excuse hoe halter.
Yeah.
Well, you were tied for the
was
lead.
that a double?
That was a
oh,
double.
because
The missed
Mando.
Mando, yeah.
Yeah.
Still holding in, though, pretty
The
good.
bigger they are,
Nope.
the harder they fall. All right, hole 6, super fun hole. Much different when it's grown in here, but you've got a little pathway out to the right or a channel directly in front of you off the tee. You're going to try and land in this landing zone that you're going to see in a moment here. And then you're going to approach the mouth of a bit of a hallway down in towards the basket. So it's a par 4. So this is a landing zone you're going to aim for right around here, either with a backhand hyzer around the right, a straight shot down the middle, or a forehand hyzer. So there's lots of options off the tee. And then you're going to hopefully leave yourself a good angle here at the pin. You got OB behind the basket, pretty close. I think it's like 15, 20 feet away, but you got some really good lines on the second shot as well. So a really fun hole, really good disc golf hole with lots of options available to you kind of off the tee as well as the landing zone.
Totally agree. You can, off the drive here, you can go big hyzer on the right side. You can go big Annie around the left. You can go big forehand around the left. You can pump it straight up the first hallway there. A lot of options on this hole, but you really want to set yourself up for a good second shot. And that is not
Okay, that's a good reaction.
setting yourself up for a good second shot.
Could be worse, could be better.
Yeah.
Oh no. Eric really leans into this one and pushes it way out left. There are some options from back there. As long as you can find your disc, you just got to be mindful of OB in your left, and then you can take the pin on the back door to the basket down the next fairway.
He's not quite pin high on a par 4, but he's not far off of being pin high on a par 4 there.
Tyler going the big hyzer around. And nice and safe.
Yeah.
Kind of the primary landing zone there.
Textbook drive.
A little bit of work left to do, but definitely some easy angles to follow there.
And you're going for a mid. Everyone else is throwing drivers here.
Well, when you're confident, coming off a double bogey, you're confident. Worked out okay.
That's great.
Definitely shorter than I want it to be, but reliable and stable.
Being short does help you open up a few more angles, though, coming down this hallway.
That'll work fine.
Jeremy into the woods with a great fortuitous kick back to the edge.
Wow.
Tyler lace it, backboard.
And
Almost
hits
goes
the
OB, but
backstop.
stays safe.
Going to the mid again, the Apollo. Lets you down a little bit there.
Well, I don't think that was the user error.
And then
So
we got
this is the back door from Eric.
Wow.
Swatted.
And he almost gets it through, too.
Almost gets it through.
Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
So you finally break out the A4 here.
Yeah, I thought it'd be worth a shot, and then I seemed to forget about it again.
Yeah. One of the least weird discs in your bag of weird discs.
Yes.
This is great. I'm glad you mentioned CBJ, Craig Burrows Johnson. This course and a number of other courses in Alberta wouldn't exist without him.
No, definitely not.
And he designed
One of the forefathers, you could say, of disc golf in Alberta.
Yeah. And so these targets, these baskets, are one of a kind, and I don't think there's that many of them left anymore. But Wetaskiwin's got 9 of them.
Medicine Hat, maybe?
Yeah, could be.
I just saw someone's story down there.
All right.
Anyway.
Hole 7. Another tunnel shot, 267 from the whites. Low ceiling on this one too, so it's pretty easy to grab some of these overhanging branches here before you get it out of the first half of the hole. OB strung all the way along the right-hand side pretty tight. It's that fence and beyond there. And then left is trouble. You might be behind a giant spruce tree, so take your straightest flying disc and throw it up the gut, or take something a little bit more stable and hang it out to the right over the road and just hope it comes back on time.
Yeah, definitely not as many options up the tee here. Definitely some trouble for Eric as a forehand player. Let's see what Tyler does.
Oh no.
Tyler goes high
yes?
over the road, hoping that it fades in.
And that disc is too straight.
Too straight.
That's pretty much what you want for a pull on this one, though.
That went out early.
Just a different disc. All right, I think Jeremy's going with the Fuji. Pretty overstable mid here, and he did not get it wide enough.
Not wide enough,
That'll play,
but
though.
not
yeah.
too deep into those woods on the left.
All right, I think this is the first forehand I've ever seen on this hole. And
Layup. Good layup.
The reason the camera's not zooming is because there's nothing to zoom to. Hit an early tree, but I believe dropped safe in bounds up on the right side.
Oh, no.
Tried to play a flex shot over the road here.
that disc was pretty overstable for you.
Well, yeah, you need to give it a chance, though. Didn't really give it a chance there. So Ty and I out of bounds. Eric early right, but still a good look at the basket. Coming in here with his approach. Great kick.
Nice. I'm getting those good kicks.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So Ty and I both went out of bounds fairly early, roughly the same area.
Well,
Ty
that
has a
was
great
best case
approach there.
scenario.
Should be able to save his bogey, no problem.
Another pretty good kick. There are some good kicks out here to be had. You're going back to the Apollo. Just got to get it close.
I admire the
And
going with the same disc.
Close. You know, with those overstable discs, you really got to commit, and sometimes us hole halters have commitment
Came
issues.
out hot. I was like, these losers don't stand a chance against me.
Jeremy commits to the puddle, though.
Ideal layup zone. It's not going anywhere if you landed in the puddle. And the arrow just
And I don't
doesn't
know
have the
what
glide.
I don't know what kind of shot that is, but it moved towards the basket. Good putt there from Eric. Good solid par from him. Get strokes on folks this hole.
I think the arrow's got about 15 feet of glide in it, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's about all you can get out of that thing.
Reach it down.
Tyler saves his bogey. David moving the wrong way.
Oh boy.
Jeremy and Eric playing strong.
All right. Tough start for you, but
Great start. Tough second
yeah.
start. All right, hole 8. This is a tricky little hole with some speed control issues. Lots of reliance on a disc that can kind of finish left. And so you're looking at a tight hallway that goes kind of a stock hydrogen line right to left, but like I said, it's a little shorter than you would hope for. So you need to pick a bit of a slower disc, but one that can still glide and make some move down the fairways here. You got a big guardian tree on the left that's kind of over the top of the basket. If you miss a deep left, there's some wet stuff in there, and then anywhere to the right is going to be fairly thick brush that you have to deal with.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of Swamp Central here on this hole, and it's unplayable maybe 6 months of the year.
Yes,
But when it's playable,
it's great.
she's a beaut. I like this from Jeremy, going with an understable mid, getting it to pop up.
Oh no.
Just a little too fast, a little too straight.
Tyler?
Needs a little more fade on that.
This is you're being a team.
We're going to see another forehand on a backhand hole. He just really doesn't like that backhand, eh?
I mean, he likes his forehand.
And he makes it work.
Makes it work, gets out in circle 2 there, obstructed view of the basket,
disc
but
looks so slow.
easy up and down if nothing else.
Yeah, all in all, that's an impressive shot.
Yeah, you know, Eric's forehand is a lot like people that are vegetarians because they don't like vegetables.
Oh no.
He just really loves the forehand. And
That's fair. If I had his forehand, I would love it.
Further
Pretty
than
good
that.
How
too.
far do you rest?
Tyler just going with the putter there. Also a nice play. You want something that goes super straight, or
something that moves a lot. Let's see how this works out. Too fast.
oh my goodness.
The idea was kind of neat. I really kind of liked the thought there, but that disc is too fast to control in that tight of a fairway.
You almost nailed that thing though.
Almost. Definitely a fun disc.
Yeah.
Great shot by Tyler.
Tyler, former handler.
Lots of confusion. He's tall and fast and he's a good thrower,
Yeah.
but prefers the handler space in the ultimate frisbee world.
Yeah.
Jeremy's a little look from the fringe. Really close. That angle doesn't capture how close it was, but that was a really good putt from Jeremy.
Yeah. And we got a nice birdie chance from Eric. Just leaves it a bit low.
And we all get a par,
It will not clean up.
I think, if we don't get our boots too wet.
All right. I think you're 4 for 4 with the turbo putt.
I think so. I only used it within 15 feet, so
Well,
it weighs about 125 grams. So I don't know how much further than that it can be thrown.
I'm hoping we're going to find out later on this round.
I think we might.
Yeah. All right, hole 9, taking us back to the parking lot where we came from. As wide open a shot as there is on this course. You're just blasting your first shot out into the field as far as you possibly can. The only real trouble is going left into the long grass there because there's a few bushes that you don't want to be behind. And also the stack of trees on the left, you really want to be avoiding that on your second throw because it's the only serious danger on this hole. So playing it way out to the right is pretty safe, and then you've got a couple of different alleys to the basket, which is right behind this tree. A lot of players are going to go left of this tree, just hyzer it out in this open space you're looking at now. There's also a nice zone around the right of this tree. Pretty straightforward hole, 655. Throw it hard.
Definitely straightforward. Definitely most players try and stay left still, even though that's the one area of risk. And there's no real good reason for why that is. I think maybe they feel they've got a better chance to get into the hole, but no matter what, it's a two shot to the pin. And so there's no real advantage in being hugging that left sideline.
I think it's the optical illusion of how the fairway's cut.
It might be, and those trees are much bigger than they look, and so the whole thing feels more attackable than it really is. And you can see Jeremy makes that mistake we're talking about, where he just fades out a little early and goes in that long grass left.
Yeah.
When you're over there, right there, the only concern is your run up and kind of your footing. So he wasn't quite far enough to get into the real sticky stuff.
Now we're gonna see how far this Pharaoh flies for Eric.
Yeah, he maybe was a little more stable than he thought, so this one could handle his power, and he ended up quite far right without advancing very far forward, but still progressing towards the
Aim for
basket.
the bird.
All right, let's see if Tyler's figured out this lace here.
Ah,
Oh, no, out of his hand.
yeah.
Left.
That's way further out there.
Further though,
Shoot!
and he might even be on that little mode section, which would be a bonus.
We're playing a sport that we all should be good at. Come on.
So I know where I'm at in the score. I really want to lean into this and do a pretty good job.
No!
Fine.
And that,
I mean, it's
I can guarantee you,
So far.
is the furthest that disc has ever flown,
I was
Yeah.
running that.
ever.
It would have been nice to go a little more towards the basket, but still, like I said, tons of room out right, nice and easy. When you're feeling upset, you really got to let it lean into one. This is the hole to do it on.
There's no better drive than an angry drive.
Jeremy with a great approach shot from the woods there, giving himself a look at the basket. That tree really is bigger than you think, and it's pretty hard to get around and give yourself a decent look still. So it's
Yeah,
a great shot.
and stay somewhere near the circle too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tyler didn't quite make it through those trees. And here's Eric. Absolutely ripping this disc.
That's pretty good too. Not quite around the tree, I don't think, but should be an easy up and down from there. And I missed it. Is that the
That's-
groove again?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think that's a groove. I made it around the tree. Best shot of the round potentially for me. And here's Tyler stuck in the woods where we mentioned doesn't want to be.
He's out.
Managed to move it to the fairway, which is great. But pretty much a natural OB one-stroke penalty if you're in there.
Oh, super straight.
Feels really
All right. I think he may have stopped the bleeding here.
I like that.
Eric with a little chip around the tree. Excellent shot. Jeremy for the birdie. Just short.
Yeah, I think
That's the thing where knowing your disc makes a big difference. That kind of circle's edge putt.
he's been short with that Sark a few times, so I think it's probably not quite as glidey as whatever his normal putter is. And I know that Arrow's, well, it's just not anything like whatever you putt with.
Yeah, I think that reaction from me says it all. Kick some grass and try and not get too much on tilt.
Like if I'm gonna miss a basket.
So we got Eric and Jeremy getting away with pretty easy pars here.
I don't know about you, Matt, but it really grinds my gears when I feel like I had some really great shots and don't gain any strokes on anyone.
Yeah, you went smash, smash, and then
not
clunky
smash.
piece of plastic.
But Turbo Putt 5 for 5.
5 for 5 with the Turbo Putt. We're setting records out here.
Without turbo putting.
Without turbo putting once. Will we see it in the back nine? You're going to have to tune in to find out. So after the front nine, we've got Jeremy in the lead at -1. Eric Hohalter, clean scorecard. All pars.
That's impressive.
Pretty amazing. Tyler stumbled a little bit on those last couple of holes, but he is definitely still in this thing. And I'd say even a +4, you're still in this thing. There's a lot of strokes can go out.
Yeah, a lot of strokes can go up and down on this course. Definitely, if Tyler stumbled, well, I more than stumbled. I stumbled with capital letters.
The doubles will get you on this course for sure.
They sure will.
All right, so that is it for the front nine. Thank you all so much for watching. We've got a really exciting back nine coming up. You're going to want to tune in.
I think so.